The movie starts where a baby Brandon grows up before fast-forwarding to the present day. Tori, Brandon's mother, calls out for him, but he's hiding. Then she whistles, and he whistles back. That brings me back. She ends up finding him in the barn, to which his father Kyle is concerned about. Later at school, Brandon flexes his big brain while sharing his extensive knowledge of wasps. He makes mention of a specific type that forces other species to raise its young, foreshadowing some kids in the class clown on Brandon, but his classmate Caitlin reassures him with kind eyes, smart guys ruled the world. She isn't wrong. At night, something in the barn begins to awaken. It emits a glowing red light and speaks out in a different language. The strange object causes Brandon to do his best in practice. He awakens with glowing red eyes and gracefully exits his room, heads out to investigate, and she makes her way to the barn and finds an entrance. Brandon tugging at the locked trapdoor, Tori approaches and Brandon snaps back to reality. The pair return home and baby Brandon gets tucked into bed. Through the chants continue, Kyle inquires as to what happened and Tori twists the truth. He was just sleepwalking downstairs. The next day, Brandon and his dad have a chat. Kyle heads out to the store and tasks Brandon with mowing the lawn while trying to get the engine started, nearly launches the mower into orbit ring. Jeff Bezos would like to know your location. Kyle inspects the mower and stares into the spinning blades. The chants from last night take his mind hostage as he inches his hand closer and closer. We meet some other family members merrily, and Uncle Noah, as birthday boy Brandon, enjoys some bus and ice cream. Noah presents him with a present. Fortunately, Daddy Kyle had the right idea. He takes the gun away and scolds Noah Brennan, but gets very angry and demands the gun back. "Give it to me." Taken aback by Brandon's rebellious behavior, Kyle revokes his Robux allowance and cuts the party short. Onlookers watch on with concern as the family heads out back home. Kyle reflects on Brandon's odd behavior lately, but Tori reassures him we were just as bad at that age. Sometime later, the family prepares for a camping trip while Brandon eats some cereal. Meanwhile, Tori snoops around Brandon's room and Kyle joins in. They find some interesting, or rather inch-growing images. Wait, I can't vape to this, as the parents progress through the pictures. They find increasingly shocking images, including human organs. I think it's time for the talk. We cut to Brandon and his dad in the woods. "So, son, no one ever told me. It was okay to touch or play with it." Brandon doesn't quite understand what's going on. So his dad clarifies, "I just want you to know that if you have urges about girls in your class, it's okay to act upon them." Jill, later at night, Tori is awakened by something running around in the woods. Then we cut to Caitlin, Brandon's classmate. Tori tends to him. Then he asks, "What am I?" Tori reveals the horrifying truth. "You're adopted. Your real dad, Omni-Man. You're an alien, and this is a spaceship." An infuriated Brandon runs upstairs and starts smashing. Everything Tori reveals to show Kyle that Brandon uncovered the truth. Brandon storms outside and decodes the final elusive word. "Take the world, wow! I didn't expect that." Brandon runs off to Caitlin's place and brings her a flower. "My mom told me not to talk to you. I'm going to take care of that." We cut to the diner where Erica works as she closes for the night. She notices countless symbols suddenly appear on the windows, then the lights start flickering and she stares directly at them. Bad idea. Brandon terrorizes Erica. Then she counters ineffective. She seeks shelter in the freezer, but Brandon's got a heat vision to keep her warm as he tears away the door. We see that he's rocking some new drip. The next day, Brennan tells his parents he's feeling much better and that everything's fine. Meanwhile, the sheriff and his crew wrecked the crime scene at the diner. He makes note of the peculiar symbols left on the window. Brandon undergoes his first session with Merrily, but things quickly take a troubling turn when Brandon admits he feels no remorse for what he did to Caitlin. The voice calls out to Brandon. Then we cut to Merrily's house. Her motion detectors alert her of an unknown presence. "Brandon, what are you doing here?" "He's here to drop off a warning. Snitches get stitches." "Don't you go telling the sheriff about me," Merrily tells him, "and that is extremely inappropriate." "Fine, I'll just walk back home, okay?" "Brandon, stay safe. You too." "What a cheeky bastard you are, Brandon." Meanwhile, Mary Lee's man Noah is cracking a cold one with the boys. The men discuss Erica's disappearance and joke that Brandon might be behind it. Didn't he crush her daughter's hand anyway? Noah heads out early. Back at Mary Lee's house, Brandon stalks his prey when suddenly he hears Noah's car pull in. He hides and narrowly avoids detection before Brandon Noah drags him back to his car, but Brandon warns him not to tell his parents. "You're lucky if that's all I do." Noah rushes into the car as Brandon makes chase. Great, the car stopped. No one desperately tries to get it running again, while Brandon stares him down, and he's gone. Brandon lifts the truck into the air, then drops it as Noah fades into the darkness. Brandon watches. He reaches out for some of his blood so he can leave his calling card at the scene. A shirtless Brandon returns home to a pair of very concerned parents. He offers up a sob story. "I was playing soccer with the kids after school, and they bullied me, and my shirt ripped, and then I walked home." Tori reaches for Brandon's dirty shirt, but he clutches it, raising Kyle's suspicion in the process. Later, Carl has a nightmare by the night Tori found Brandon in the woods inventory. Are awakened by a call from Early. We cut to the hospital where they learn Noah's fate. Then Marilee asks, did Noah make it home safe? "He left you the next morning. You share the news with Brandon. Your Uncle Noah died, okay?" Kyle chimes in. "We know you were there last night. Though Brandon feigns ignorance about what happened, this is he's lying to our faces, Tony," and calms down. But tensions reach a fever pitch. Brandon storms off to take a shower, and Kyle searches for his soiled shirt. Oh my God, it's blood! He takes the evidence to Tori, but she continues to live in denial. "You're blaming our son because you feel guilty about letting Noah drive home drunk." Meanwhile, the sheriff looks over the case and spots a familiar symbol. We cut back to Kyle, who's reminiscing about the days when his son wasn't a superpowered psychopath. Later in bed, he reassures Tori that all Brandon needs is some love. "I'm gonna take him out on a little trip, just me and him. Remind him that I'm still his dad and I care about him." The next day, Tori bids farewell to the both of them after they leave. The sheriff arrives and questions Tori over the strange symbol he uncovered. Kind of looks like two bees, doesn't it? Brandon Breyer. Perhaps Tori's mood turned sour and she sends him on his way, though she can't deny reality any longer. She runs up to Brandon's room and finds his notebook revealing the symbol along with several horrifying sketches. Meanwhile, Kyle prepares to do what needs to be done as Brandon inspects some deer tracks. Brandon takes to the skies and dons his iconic fit. Kyle pleads for his life. Propane is not feeling particularly merciful. Back to Tori. She calls Kyle and he picks up. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You were right, Brad, and kill them." "All Mom. Oh no, it's Brandon and he's hovering just above me." The house, he proceeds to make an absolute mess of the place, and an utterly terrified Tori calls the cops. The sheriff heads back and calls for backup. They arrive on the scene and he insists that she's safe now. Next up, the lady officer. Okay, this one's pretty funny. Don't lie. Tori hides under the bed before hopping out the window. She makes her way to the barn, then touches the spaceship. It begins to flash red, revealing what remains of Erica in the background. You know how in science class you do that thing with the frog? Yeah, just imagine that Tori arms herself with a piece of the spaceship, then whistles for Brandon. He whistles back, and she finds him. They embrace, and Tori lets him know that she still believes that there's good in him. "I want it too good. That's a little too late, my guy." Oh geez. Brandon intercepts a strike, then takes his mom to see the stars. He lets her go, and the film ends.